Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jewel Tolentino here. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to share with you guys my top 7 reasons to stay at Airbnbs. Alright, so before I get started, if you are here for the Airbnb coupon code, you guys can find that here on the screen and in the description down below. You guys can go ahead and use that link. This is for first-time Airbnb users. You guys can use that coupon code and get a discount on your first-time booking on Airbnb. Alright, so we have been using Airbnbs for the past couple of years, and actually in the past this year, 2019, we have not used any hotels and we've only used Airbnbs. I've stayed in all sorts of places, all sorts of cities here in Vancouver, Whistler, Arizona, Bermuda, and even China. So here are my top 7 reasons to stay in an Airbnb versus a hotel. Number 1 is the price. So you can generally get a lot cheaper of a price to stay at with an Airbnb than a hotel. Now it depends if you're going to be getting like a whole house or just a room in someone else's home. For me personally, I only rent entire homes. I haven't actually rented a room. And even though we're renting an entire home, for the whole thing, for everything that you get, it is cheaper than staying at a hotel most of the time. Number 2 is you can stay at some really unique places. Hotels in general are pretty much all the same, standard. You have a room, the beds are in there. There's not usually a whole kitchen place. Sometimes there is, depending on the hotel, and they all just generally look the same. On Airbnb, you can stay at a variety of different types of styles and homes, which makes it interesting. For example, in Arizona, it was my sister's bachelorette party, and we stayed in Scottsdale, Arizona, and there were 10 of us, so we actually rented like a mansion, like a big house with a pool in the middle of the desert. And if we were to go and rent hotel rooms, we would probably have to get 4 hotel rooms, and it wouldn't be as fun, the dynamic that we had, because we were having pool parties and really enjoying the nature of the house, because it was so big and there were so many of us there, and it was just a lot of fun. Number 3 is it's great for large families and large groups. When we went to Bermuda for my sister's wedding, we were staying in a place with my friends, and my parents were there and my sister. So there were a bunch of us there, and it was nice to stay in a home, all of us together. We each had like our own room. I was sharing a room with my sister. My 2 other friends were sharing a room, and then my parents had their own room. Typically at hotels for large groups, you do need to get separate rooms. And when you try and cram everyone in one hotel room, it gets a little tight. Everyone's trying to sit on the bed, sit on the edge of things, and it's just not as fun. Number 4, it can be really great for location. So another example of this was when we stayed on Vancouver Island. We were doing this adventure called the Horn Lake Caves. It's this underground cave system, and you get to climb and rappel down these caves down underground. Now, it was in a specific area that's a little bit more remote, so there wasn't a hotel nearby, but luckily we went on Airbnb and actually found a house that was a couple minutes away to the caves that we wanted to adventure for. And this worked out perfectly because this trip was solely to go see these caves and to climb down these caves. So for us, it was really great to just find a place that was right there, and then we can just go and explore the whole thing. Number 5, if you rent an entire home, you'll likely have a full kitchen, get to do laundry. Whenever I stay at a hotel, I don't typically get laundry done. I don't think I've ever had it done. And at Airbnbs, it's nice to have a full kitchen. You can go do grocery shopping and be able to cook. It does save on a bunch of money when you can go ahead and do your own laundry and your own cooking. You don't have to eat out all the time when you're staying at a hotel, or pay to get your laundry done from the service that they offer at the hotel. Number 6 is the online booking and payments and check-in and check-out. That's all done online. You know, when you go to a hotel, you usually need to stand in line, wait, check in, pull out your IDs, sign a bunch of papers. When you book on Airbnb, you don't have to do any of this. It's already pre-done for you so that you pretty much just get there and you check in with the instructions that your host gives you. Most of the time it's like a pin on the door, like a pin pad thing that you get a code and you can get in, or someone will actually meet you, or they've given you a key somewhere for you to pick up and then go to your place. The check-in process is a lot more smooth. You don't have to deal with cash, payments, or anything like that. It's all done online. And the last one, number 7, is it's cool that you have the host to connect to when you are traveling to wherever you're traveling. Now, because you are staying at their place, they are very invested in helping you out, answering your questions. And because they live there and they're a local, they will have like the know about where to eat, where to go, transit, that type of thing. For example, when we were in China, that we were expressing to the lady that, we didn't know the transit system, even though we had looked it up and, everything was in a different language. And so she offered to have a driver pick us up and bring us to the Airbnb, which was super helpful because it was wintertime. We had a bunch of suitcases. Didn't speak the language, obviously, and it just made it so much easier. You'll even get some hosts who go above and beyond for you. In Bermuda, we stayed at this small little place. There was only 3 of us in the actual place. And the host was so nice. When we checked in, she brought in like fresh water for us to drink. So like we didn't have to buy our own water. She brought us fresh baked muffins and baked goods the next morning. She even gave us like bus tickets to take around town. And she even did some grocery shopping for us. So before we went and actually stayed at the place, she had messaged us and said, what kind of milk, eggs, cereal, if you like bacon or whatever, like what kinds of things do you eat for breakfast? And we were surprised because, that's amazing for a host to go above and beyond. So sometimes you'll get experiences like that. You'll likely not get that kind of thing at a hotel. So you can definitely find some really cool gems on Airbnb, both with hosts and the actual places. So those are my top 7 reasons to stay at an Airbnb. I'm actually using them in about a month's time. We're going to Europe. We're going to be going to London, Berlin, Germany, Amsterdam, and Tel Aviv, and we will be using Airbnb for that trip. If you've never used Airbnb before, you guys can check out my other video, which will be down in the description below. I created another instructional video on how to actually find a good place to stay. You want to make sure to look at the reviews, read the description, pay attention to certain things. Make sure that you're actually choosing an entire home and not a room if you want an entire home, because I actually had a friend recently who thought they were booking a home, but they actually booked a room in someone's home and they didn't know that you had to change it in the filters. So you guys can use the coupon code here on the screen or in the description down below. And if you guys use that code, you guys can get a discount for yourself on your first booking. And it'll help us out a little bit by giving us a little something as well on Airbnb credit. So if you use that code, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Back from the dead.